The vision of Surge from the beginning was that the collective witness of the church, which means many local congregations, many local churches, would be able to display Jesus better together in unity in the midst of difference than we ever could just individually as a congregation. And we believed that if we pursued becoming like Jesus together, we would see individual people become more like Jesus, families become more like Jesus, individual local churches more like Jesus, and therefore the collective witness, display of Jesus in a city would be far greater together than it ever would be apart.
I love what I see in Surge. What I see in Surge is the unity, the friendship, the real caring for one another, but also the caring for those around them and the communities at large. In practical ways, people not afraid to dare to take risks, to get their hands dirty and do what's necessary to make things better in this environment, and then to prepare people for the world to come.
When we come together with other networks or ministry leaders and churches, and we envision what the future of the church might look like in Arizona, we know that we hope and long that the soil would be healthy, that there would be, that as we plant seeds and we bear witness to the gospel, that we would see our city know and encounter Jesus. And I think Surge gets to be a blessing in the sense that we often get to help pastors really think through what it looks like to equip and release their church members to be God's hands and feet in every part of the city, whether it's in their workplace, in their neighborhoods, in their school systems, and this is something that's very needed in kind of 21st century. There's a need to help think through what it looks like to develop the next generations of leaders.
We continue to have Surge tables with our people and continuing to train leaders. But now really our connection is to the entire network. It's really become our tribe, it's become our family, it's become an opportunity for us to listen in on what God is doing in the valley, and to listen in on the things that He's calling us to do outside of our own campus, our own church, but actually really getting involved in what God is doing throughout the valley, throughout the state, and being able to have this listening ear to the work of God.
Our desire from the beginning was this vision that comes out in Jeremiah 29, that we would seek the peace and the prosperity of the cities in which we live, that we would seek its welfare, for in its welfare we too would find ours. That the desire of Surge is that leaders would be raised up, churches would be formed at such a level that we would believe our fundamental dream and calling is the flourishing of our city because of Jesus, in such a way that we would know our welfare, our joy, our delight, our utmost satisfaction is bound up in the flourishing of the neighborhoods that we live in, the restaurants that we go to or maybe have not yet gone to, the institutions, whether they be educational or business oriented in our cities, would literally flourish.
One of the prayers that we pray a lot as leaders and pastors in the Surge network is that we would be contributing to the flourishing and health of the local church. And so I know sometimes there's maybe fears that the church is losing its influence and power, but I really believe that God has positioned us, at this point in this time to help equip God's people to be faithful witnesses to the gospel. And whether that's a small witness or a large witness, I really believe that our calling is to help the disciples be mature, to grow up into the fullness of Christ, and to proclaim the good news to every aspect of our city.